A local youth campaign is calling on the Department of Education to extend the deadline for matric supplementary exam applications. Listen to this. Matriculants now have just 6 days from receiving their results to registering for a supplementary exam, all due to the delays in the 2020 academic year, of course, caused by COVID-19. Let's find out just what might be able to be done here. Youth Capital's project leader, Crystal Duncan-Williams, is joining us to try and figure out what to do here. Crystal, good morning to you. Stressful times for matriculants, stressful time for their parents. Perhaps those not doing as well as they were hoping last year now have the added pressure of having to decide what to do very, very quickly.
Absolutely, Gareth. Usually matrics have between 6 to 8 weeks in previous years between when the results are released to when the cutoff for rewrites takes place. And this year it seems like the date hasn't been shifted despite the calendar shifts across the board of education for schools as well as universities. All dates have been shifted, but this date for some reason has not. We've contacted the Department of Education and they've told us that matrics should start trying to apply now if they think they failed, which we think is a completely ridiculous notion, because you have to apply per subject, and how is a child supposed to know which subjects they've failed until the results are released? Secondly, we've had young people try to access the system, and the online system won't let you register now because the results have not been released yet.
The question also is going to come in as to how and what form these supplementary exams, these rewrites, depending on which term you'd like to use for this, is going to take. Bearing in mind, late last year we were seeing some schools being closed, some schools reopening. I suppose the issue of not just the rewrite and having to find out if you failed, how to apply in time, but also how and when you're going to be able to write these exams, isn't it?
Absolutely. So usually you'd have an opportunity in May and June, and then around October and November again. Last year what happened is it all got condensed into one opportunity in October and November, and the May-June was cancelled because of COVID. And so we face another year of uncertainty, and I just think that we know that learners and their parents have suffered a lot with COVID, with anxiety and stress and all the disruption. This is one small way we can kind of lessen that pressure and give them a little bit of time to figure out what to do, where to register, which subjects they want to rewrite. I just think that 6 days is not enough time at all. No. In a time that will be filled with anxiety and disappointment for those who haven't made it.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a lot of people as well who perhaps don't even know this information. They've only got 6 days to try and get their rewrite applications in. They could very well miss rewriting a subject they possibly could pass the second time around. Crystal, you said you'd spoken to the Department of Education. They were simply saying that matriculants must just hurry up and register now. Why do you think the government and the Department of Education is reacting like this? Why not just simply move the date out?
I honestly have absolutely no idea. I would think there might be implications from an administrative point of view, but in the time of COVID, we're all dealing with things that are unexpected and things that are inconvenient for us, perhaps, and perhaps make management a little bit more difficult. So I can understand it, but one would think that this should be simply an administrative issue. Shifting the date, considering that the exams would only take place in May or June, if we shifted it a month to give learners at least a month to register, that would still give the department ample time to go through the registrations and prepare for the exams. And so they were unclear in the emails about why they don't want to move the date. And I just think that it's a simple way we can support young people. Lots of young people rely on a matric certificate to be able to access higher education, further employment opportunities. We know a matric certificate is really valuable for those things. And this is one way we can support these learners into their next step more easily without putting added pressure on.
Crystal, just a final question to you before I say goodbye. Apart from speaking to us, and obviously our team here on ENT are going to follow up with the Department of Education about what we can do about the changing of this date, where are we in this calendar? We're reporting this morning 6 days from receiving results. When is this deadline for the supplementary exams need to be? And I'm sure there's very worried parents watching you and I chat about this now, and clearly nothing has happened as far as you asking the Department of Education to change the date legally. What do you think can the next step be? A final question to you.
So we're running a petition in conjunction with another organization called Parent Power, who are trying to empower parents. Obviously, they're affected by this as well, trying to support their children. So you can sign our petition. That's all on our social media pages. You can email us at info@youthcapital.co.za. And so we're trying to put pressure on from that side. The current deadline is the 28th of February. You can apparently go into a district office and register manually, but with COVID, some of those offices are closed. So parents can find out about that in the meantime, or learners, and also then sign the petition, and hopefully we're putting some added pressure on the department. We can get the date shifted.
And I'm sure we'll continue to watch that story closely as well and try and get some answers as well. Youth Capital Project Leader Crystal Duncan-Williams, my thanks to you in speaking to us this morning. Matriculants, it seems, have just 6 days from getting their matric results to being able to register for supplementary exams if they need to. Not a very long period of time between finding out your results and having to rewrite. We'll, of course, follow up with that story throughout the day here on ENCA.